This is Kristi Casey Sanders, aka PYM Live, and I'm in the Quickmobile booth here at GMIC 2015. And we just had the opening session from 4 to 5:30. We had the reception. We had drink tickets, so nobody is too loosey-goosey right now. I just wanted to put that out there before we begin. But if you're interested in following along and learning how to plan sustainable meetings and events, you should follow the hashtag GMIC 2015 because it's the place to be. We're in Atlanta. Woohoo! So with me today we have some graduates and the instructor for the Sustainable Event Professional certification. This is the industry standard on how to learn how to create a sustainable event. For those of you who might be unfamiliar, there's a kind of factoid that gets tossed around a lot that the meetings and events industry is the second most wasteful industry in the world. So I'll let Johanna debate or confirm that. But so I'm going to introduce Tahira Endean. So Endean. So throughout this conference, the two of us are going to be talking to people in sessions. So now I'm going to pass things off to Johanna. Okay. Johanna, would you mind introducing yourself and talking a little bit about the SEPC certification?
Sure, perfect. Thank you so much. I'm Johanna Walsh. I work for a company called Twirl Management. We're a third-party event planning company in California. I have been teaching the SEPC course both this year and last year, where we take event professionals from the planning side, the vendor side, venues, hotels, destinations from around the world through the process of how to create a sustainable event through the eyes of the Sustainable Meetings Conference. So it's a really exciting program that both benefits the organization and provides a learning opportunity for event planners and event professionals. There is that great statistic of the events industry being the second most wasteful, which is a wonderful catalyzing statistic to help people get really passionate about meetings and events. And it is also a now 14-year-old statistic. And I think that there has been wonderful strides being done over the last 15 years that have kind of started to work to counterbalance that. I actually work on a project that's helping to actually track what that benchmark is now called Green Venue Report. And we have a lot of great venues that participate in sharing their sustainability data and waste data. So we actually are going to get a true benchmark of what our industry is creating. So I think we'll maybe get to like 4th, 5th, hopefully, as we move up, as all these dedicated professionals really adapt great sustainability initiatives.
Cool. So before we talk to some of the students, where do people find information about how to register for the class or how to become the 2016 class of SEPC?
Yeah, the leaders of tomorrow. So the GMIC website is gmicglobal.org. It's a plethora of information, both how to run a green meeting, but also information about the course itself. So I think it's under the education tab there, and you can sign up, and we'll welcome you next year.
Thank you, Johanna. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with planning sustainably, it doesn't have to be a bolt-on. It's actually something that's much easier to do from the very beginning of the process. So if you need to find RFPs, which for those of you, if you're not down with the lingo, that means a request for proposal. That's what you send out to have vendors bid on your business. You can actually include clauses in those RFPs that say, these are my specs, this is what I'm looking for, these are the kind of measurements and the kind of level of sustainability commitment that you have in different areas, and those exist for you also on the GMIC Global website. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to of the 2015 SEPC certificate program. Yeah, and so what I think is really cool about the program is that not only do you learn how to plan sustainable events, you also plan an event while you're learning. So could you introduce yourself first, and then second, could you talk about the process and what it was like planning this Sustainable Meetings Conference in Atlanta?
Sure. Do you want to go or should I start?
Sure, I can go. My name is Jessica Glenn. I am the Sustainability Manager for Freeman. We're a general service contracting company that we basically address pretty much any issue that you're going to need for planning a meeting, and we're international. So it was a great experience. What I really liked about it is that I do learn best when I am having hands-on experience, and so I was actually part of the AV group, and so that's not something I normally do. I don't have a lot of knowledge on that, and getting to learn about part of really my company's industry while also having my hands-on experience was interesting for sure, and I learned a lot from it.
Definitely.
What is the most important thing you think you learned?
Oh boy.
Or what are some things that you
I
discovered that
think
surprised you?
the expectations for the Apex ASTM standards, I was not very familiar with before this. I don't have a huge background in meetings, and reading through the standards and the expectations and realizing that my company actually fulfills a lot of them already was exciting. It was a really good experience to see kind of like, okay, we got that done, we got that done. I didn't even know that that was a big deal, but we have that already. And so it was empowering to know that we're almost like halfway there. And so if we just put a little bit more effort, maybe a little bit more money into it, we could become Apex ASTM certified.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And Lizzie, tell us a little bit about your involvement with this process.
Sure. So my name is Lizzie Paulson, and I'm the events director at Time Warner Cable on our community investment team. And the way that I really found out about this sustainable certification is that sustainability is a personal passion of mine as well as a company passion. And so my VP supported me in going to this course as well as this conference here today. And one of the things that I found so interesting about it is that really small steps can make a big impact. And there's so many incredible things. You can get overwhelmed when you look at the standards and you say, oh gosh, there's pages upon pages of very detailed information. How do I put this into real life situations? You have to break it down. You have to make it manageable for people. And the GMIC Ask For It documents really does that, and it makes it really easy to understand and accessible for people who don't necessarily have a PhD in standards.
I don't think there are, does anyone here know if there is a PhD available in the standards yet?
No, but I think they've got a good start here with their lovely coordinated green wear. And yes, it's all good. There's not yet. There will be one day. There won't need to be a PhD in it because one day all we're going to have is it woven through from the very beginning of every meeting that we plan.
Great.
And I think it started as an idea and talking to a bunch of friends in 2001. They incorporated as a nonprofit in 2003. In 2009, the first chapter actually formed in Atlanta. Today we've got membership all over the world. And what's always been emphasized that I think is really cool in the GMIC conferences is that sustainability is not an end destination, it's a journey. And so, some people can install $1 million water filtration systems in their homes, and some people, they need to start by just thinking about reducing their water consumption. So wherever you are, wherever your company is, wherever your event is, that's okay. And I think that's something that intimidates people when they start to think about how do I make my operations more sustainable. So always think about, what can be done better? What can I commit to doing better today? What can my company commit to doing better today? What can my event do better? And then once you can commit to that, make sure you measure it, and then you have baselines, and then from there it just becomes part of the journey. GMIC has earned a place at the table with the Convention Industry Council, so now we are actually writing the standards, and that's something that's incredibly exciting to see happen. And I know at Plan Your Meetings we're educating the next generation of planners, and it's part of our basic education. And to hear it looks like you had some
The entire process. So as you're working towards your CMP now, it's not a chapter. It's just the way we're planning meetings.
Great.
I know it is great.
So Tahira, do you want to tell our audience who's watching now or on demand what's going to be going on for the next couple of days?
The next couple of days are going to be more exciting and awesome. Well, for us, it's going to be periscoping lots and lots and lots of great ideas that people come up with, but great general sessions, great breakouts, and some singing and dancing at the end.
And I'd also like to mention that if you see people out and about, Tahira Endean is probably going to be one of those singing and dancing people. So until then, plan well and prosper, my friends, and be more sustainable.
I don't know where that came from. I'm the good girl who goes home.
You are the good.